What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Hot Takes Podcast. Not only do we have a fantastic episode for you tonight, but it's also our 15th Spotlight interview. It's the interviews where we bring in local artists, creators, brands, and much, much more to come on here to speak about their craft. With all that being said, I would like to introduce tonight's guest that I have on the pod. From FLX with LEX, it's Lexie, Brito. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. I didn't know that this was the 15th episode. That's actually my favorite number.
Oh, yeah?
It actually is.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. It worked out then.
It worked out perfect.
Yeah, I've been doing these Spotlight ones for a little bit now, and I enjoy doing them so much because, like, just learning people's background and stories of why they started doing what they do as far as, like, musicians and whatnot. Mm-hmm. This is going to be an interesting episode, at least for me, because this is the first time I'm talking to someone that's in a different field like this. So I'm glad to see where this goes.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, of course. Before we get into the main questions, I did want to say, though, I really love the brand name that you have going, FLX with LEX.
Thank you.
It's catchy. It rhymes.
Yep.
It's like simple but effective, you know? And that I think that what I'm trying to say is it cuts straight to the point of what you're all about, in a sense.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah.
It took me a while to come up with a name. So it's FLX without the E, FLX, and then with LEX. And I kind of just took the E out because I think it just looked better. I did like all caps kind of thing.
Yeah.
It took me a very long time to come up with a name. I wrote out so many different things. I was literally looking in a dictionary for different words that I could use.
Yeah.
And FLX with LEX was always there, but I was like, oh, it's just so corny. Like, I don't know if it was really vibing. Mm-hmm. And then I took the E out of it and I just started looking at it more and I was like, people will catch on to this.
Oh, definitely.
So FLX with LEX, what stuck.
And I think people would catch on pretty easily with that too. It's not like too complicated, which is a good thing as well, you know. And the logo, like the picture of it too, the green and white, them flexing.
Yep.
It looks fantastic. Was that something that you asked someone to come up with, or was that an idea that you drew out yourself?
No, somebody else actually came up with it. The guy who created my logo is actually my dad's cousin, and I told him what I was doing. I sent him the information. He created it, and I was like, boom, this is it.
Awesome.
Oh, that's great, yeah.
And was the logo there when you started the program itself?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
It was in the beginning of the work. So I figured out FLX with LEX, and then I started very slowly. So the logo was here before I really started an Instagram page and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Gotcha. So when did you start the program itself and the brand?
I began organizing it probably, I believe it was last June.
Last June, okay.
Somewhere around that time. Might have been a little bit earlier, but it was definitely after COVID.
After COVID,
yes.
Right. And you know, so the viewers know, explain your program, what it's all about as far as like its mission statement, the goals that you want for the program, and what you want people to get out of it in a way.
So FLX with LEX, I know flexing, like you think muscle flexing, and that's obviously a flex, but a flex is also your lifestyle. And essentially FLX with LEX is a lifestyle brand. Okay. My niche and what I'm good at is just programming clients and giving them what they need. So the mission is to help clients reach their untapped potential. Because sometimes we have to get out of our own way, or the things that we're used to doing just aren't working anymore. And I want to guide people down the right path to make the right decisions. And not only when it comes to exercising and just living a fit lifestyle, but also when it comes to habits.
Right.
And things like that. So what I do is online performance coaching. And the good thing about it is that you don't actually need to be on a FaceTime with me or a Zoom call. So there's an app. We communicate. I create a personalized program for you. And then you can actually access it in your app. And you can tell me, hey, I go to the LA Fitness down the street in whatever town, and then I'll look up that gym and I'll see how it's laid out, and I will create a program that you can do over there. So you have access to videos, exercise demonstration, what it's working on, sets and reps, and we communicate every week.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's very cool. And I feel like that's such a different way of doing things as far as like the personal training wise, for sure.
I had to do it that way because I thought about online programming a while ago when it first started becoming hot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nope, I need in-person communication. There's nothing like it. It has to be that way. And then COVID hit, and I realized this is just the direction that the fitness industry is going in.
Yeah.
And I need to jump on board now.
100%.
I'm like already a little behind. So I knew that the way I wanted to do it, there's a lot of people who will offer programs out there, and they send you a program and then they don't really talk to you. I did not want to be that way. I didn't want to guide anybody to just be doing exercises that they could be doing improperly. So I needed to be very thorough with what I do. So, yeah.
Now, I think it's important what you're doing as far as keeping up with these people and actually talking with them, because I think it's important for you to actually see a difference in your clients, to make sure that you're doing things right, and to make sure that they're doing things right. Like both ends have to be working right with each other. And I think that's so important and awesome. I'm honestly blown away by the way that you do things. That it's something I've never heard of before.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's not what people typically think of, and I'm trying to gear the way I market to make that just noticeable.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do go with the quick assumption that we're on a Zoom call and we're training together. You can be anywhere on your own time schedule. You just tell me how many days a week that you're going to train, and I will write up your programs.
So you don't use Zoom or Google Meets, none of those platforms, like, at all?
None of those things. I do some in-home clients.
Yeah.
I have a couple in-home clients, but those are people who are local, and they're through people that I was training previously before actually starting my business. So I do that. So once in a while, if I need to do a Zoom call with them, I will, but usually I see them in person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no, everything else.
By in-home, you meant by in-person, right?
Yeah, in person, I go to them.
Gotcha. So you kind of was already getting a feel that you wanted to do this before you even started, like, the whole brand and everything like that.
Yeah, I had like a little inkling, and then I pushed it away, and then it kept coming back.
Well, I'm glad you're responding to your calling, because it definitely seems like this is your calling for sure.
Thank you. It feels like it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I mean, you would hope it's something that's going to stick for sure, which I think it will. You seem very passionate about what you do. Even back in the college days too, you always seem to be very fit, fitness in your fitness ways and everything like that. Back in the college days. I was
grinding, but it was the funniest thing, because I would be at the Kai house or something like that, and 3 hours later I had to be at the gym to go coach. It was funny, but you're right. I've always been really passionate about it.
Now, when did you start coaching people? Was that something you started in college?
In college.
Okay.
Probably freshman or sophomore year of college is when I actually started to coach people. Yeah.
Okay. At a gym that you worked at?
Yeah, I worked at a gym. It was actually a guy I knew through Kane. He was my mentor, and he was also my professor. Okay. So he owns a gym called Flow Fitness, and I started working under him, and then that's when my coaching career really began.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you went at Kane, you took classes and courses for training and whatnot, like physical therapy might be one of them, or is that something totally different?
Physical therapy is more advanced. So I graduated with my bachelor's in exercise science.
Okay.
And then I had a minor in health, if that does anything.
Well, it seems like it would definitely relate with each other.
Does.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. So you definitely have the experience.
Yep.
And you definitely have the in-person experience as well, as far as having a mentor and everything like that, and training, which is awesome. Now, how many people did you train before the brand actually started? You were saying like 2 or 3 people, or was there more than that?
So I had one client before the business, personal training client. However, I had been coaching. So I was coaching group classes. I got my experience in a lot of different aspects of the field before I really jumped in. And I was working for a different gym where I coached groups of athletes.
Gotcha. Are you still working at a gym now with doing the brand as well?
I do. Yes, I work at a different gym than I was previously now.
Yeah.
And it's great. I make sure that I don't really cross paths too much, but just, you don't never want to burn bridges or like cross any boundaries.
Oh,
so I am very careful about that. But yeah, so I still work at one gym. I coach group classes and do some personal training, and then I have my thing on the side.
Cool.
Yeah.
As far as like group classes goes, is it more like jogging, like running in place sort of deal, or are you talking more with weights?
More with weights.
More with weights.
Yep. So we have different kinds of classes, and it's awesome because it gives us free reign. And I like the way our group classes are set up because I've worked at other group fitness studios, and this is more personal, and we make sure that everybody's doing the right form and they're doing a level of the exercise that they can handle.
Yes.
So anybody, beginner or advanced, can come, which is great. So we do a lot of strength. We definitely lift weights. We move. We do HIIT days and hybrid days, which is like strength and HIIT together.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, for Flex with Lex, is that something that you would want to start doing more in-person stuff with, or do you want to stick with this sort of platform and system that you got going on right now?
That's a good question. So I am kind of on the fence about it right now. I'm at the point where I'm just super grateful to have any clients that I can take on.
Sure.
So if it does become more in-person, that's fine, and I will accept that. That's okay. However, a lot of what I would like to do is to keep it online, because when it is more online, me personally, I have a little bit more freedom and I can work from anywhere.
Very true. Yeah. I think that makes it easier for everybody in a sense, and work on their own time, like you said.
Right.
Yeah. If you were to do in person, would it be more group classes like you would at the gym, or would you rather it be a one-on-one sort of deal?
I like the one-on-one sessions, but I do a little bit of everything, and people ask me a lot, what's my niche and what do I want to focus on? And it's like, I like working with different populations because it keeps me on my toes. I'm always and forever learning, especially in the fitness industry. You have to be a forever student.
Oh, yeah.
And everything is evolving so quickly, and you just have to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
So I do it all, either one-on-one or group. I'm okay with either.
I think that not just fitness, I think that goes for absolutely anything. You could never stop learning more, especially if like my things with the video editing and everything. There's so much more that you could just learn and experience and whatnot. And, it's a shame that some people don't think they need that necessarily, or realize that more of it's there.
That's true.
But it's something that people need to keep their eye open for.
I think everybody, no matter what, and like you were saying, in editing, and you're a forever student in that too. So we're talking about completely different fields here, but the same principle goes. You should always keep learning about your craft, keep up with the times, because there's always new things coming out.
Absolutely. A perfect example would be, especially when quarantine first hit, was TikTok. It just blew up even more. Different video format where like you're holding your phone like this to film, not the widescreen, and like only a minute to film and everything like that. It's like adapting to the times in a sense with what's like popping in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yes. I have not completely adapted to the times yet.
Okay.
I made one TikTok video, and my thing is I didn't want TikTok. I was like, nope, I'm not getting addicted. This is not happening.
Yeah.
And I caved. I was good for so long, and then I caved. I made one video. Just one, and I never opened the app again.
Really?
That was it. Yeah. I know I need to get back on it. Maybe one day.
Well, I think it'll be a good way to expose like your brand and everything like that.
Yeah.
It might seem hard here and there, but sometimes it's really easy to blow up on that app. Like,
maybe.
you know, some of the stupidest things I see on there have like 1 million likes and everything like that, and it's like, wow, like if people like spent their time on more inspirational and like actually learn something and get this many likes, like that would be an awesome thing to see.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Absolutely.
So yeah, I'd say, if you want, try to get back on there and see what you could do with it.
I will. It's in the works, but a little farther down the line.
Right. It's not like a main priority sort of thing. Yeah. Right. As far as like videos go, I've seen you've been posting on your Instagram, and I believe there's another Instagram account that you either use yourself or you work with. Was it Body Fitness or something like that?
Oh, yes. You saw that. Okay.
Yeah.
So my friend from high school reached out to me. I hadn't talked to him for so long. His name's Dylan Brown, and he started a brand called body brand, and he made these body bands. Body is spelled Bodii.
Okay.
And he asked me if I could. We kind of have like not a partnership, but we collaborated together.
Yeah.
And he created this package of bands, fitness bands and exercise bands that you could put on the door. It has handles, it has ankle straps, things like that. And we partnered together. So I actually created a exercise library.
Okay.
So anybody who purchases a brand or the bands has access to the exercise library.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
That's an awesome collaboration.
Yeah.
There.
It was really cool. I've never seen anything like it, and I was super excited to do it.
Yeah, definitely. To be a part of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you collaborated with any other people that are trying to do their own thing as well?
Let's see.
No? No one else?
Not really. I collaborated with him, and then I touch base with people here and there.
Yeah.
So podcasting's your thing, and here I am.
This is true.
I was talking to Victor, actually, earlier this week, and I worked with him.
Okay.
Yep. Who else?
Were you on his podcast?
Yes,
his new podcast?
He hasn't actually come out with it yet.
Okay.
So he's like getting a couple under his belt before he puts them out.
Okay, yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know that.
It was funny when you reached out to me. I was like, did he know? I don't think he knew.
Yeah. I was talking to Victor last night, actually.
Okay.
And wow, is he gonna be mad at me that this episode's gonna be released?
No, I don't think so.
I'll have to talk to him.
That's funny. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. But I was talking to Victor last night, and I'm actually going to have him on the pod later on in the summer to talk about his podcast and everything like that.
There you go.
I love what he's doing too, by the way.
I do too.
You know, when it comes to working out videos or when it comes to any sort of inspirational videos, it's just good to put it out there, spread the positive vibes out on the internet, because God only knows how much negativity is also out there too. So much. But you know, the more positivity, the better in my books. So
more positivity, and my thing is also more value. So that's like part of what I'm doing, and part of what I feel like a lot of people like in our circle are doing. It's just putting out value. There's so much nonsense out on the internet, and you want people to be able to gather useful information. And if they don't take your advice or they don't take exactly what you do, that's fine. But at least you gave them something to consider.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I think that you're making yourself smarter and just surrounding yourself with your own advice by preaching that out there as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you don't want to go onto social media preaching about all this stuff and not do it yourself. Then you almost look like a fool in a sense. Like you want to keep up with your own word, you know?
Practice what you preach.
Practice what you preach, exactly. I love that saying. Saying I haven't heard in a while, but it's definitely true.
It needs to come back around. We're bringing it back.
Yes, 100%. Hashtag it and everything like that. Yeah. Now, because of the pandemic, a lot of people started working out online, at home, being very creative too, by the way, with how they're working out. You know, we're coming to a point where we're not necessarily out of the pandemic, but, you know, we're kind of working our way there in a sense.
Yes.
You know, and hopefully things will get better sooner than later. But do you think that working out from home that people open their eyes to and everything like that, is that going to be a thing of the past once everything goes back to normal, in your opinion? Or do you think people are just going to be, I don't need the gym, I could just do this at home. I got my resistance bands, I got this, I got my own free weights and everything like that?
I think it depends on the person's attitude. Because especially I work with a lot of different clients. So I see people who need the gym. Even for me personally, and I know I'm a coach, but I hated working out at home. It was not my thing. And I get when people kind of like fell off of their routines because they didn't want to be at home. Everyone also has like a different kind of environment that they're in. So that I could see maybe some people, if it worked for them and if they're super busy and they rarely even ever find time to go to the gym, they will likely stay home and be like, I have it all right here.
Yeah.
But there are some people who need to be surrounded by professionals or others that are going to motivate them, especially when you're in like a group fitness kind of setting. You look at the person next to you and you're like, oh, I gotta do more than them, and it gets competitive and fun.
Yes.
So some people need that. It depends on what you thrive on.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I would need to be in the gym. When quarantine first hit, I'll admit it now, I have not been working out lately, and it was because of quarantine when my gym closed at least, and they opened back up now, but I just haven't had that motivation to get back in there. But I am one of those people though that needs to be surrounded by the equipment, need to be surrounded by other people working out to actually be motivated and be like, yes, let's do this, And my mom, she went to the same gym as me.
Okay.
And obviously when it closed, she started working at home. She still kept up with it, and she loves working out at home.
Good for her.
Yeah. She loves it. She takes not like paid classes or whatnot, but just on like YouTube courses and everything like that.
Yep.
And it's been working for her,
Exactly. And that's what it depends on what you thrive on. So it's working out for her, and then for you, you're like, I need to get in there.
Right.
I get it. Yep.
Exactly. I just my gym's back open now. I need to get my ass back in there.
You can't even think about it. I tell people this all the time, but motivation is bullshit. It's self-discipline. So when you start contemplating whether or not I've had times myself where I sit in bed, it's a comfy cloud. Feels like you're like, nope, not gonna happen today. I'm a little sore. Then you start talking yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, 10 minutes go by and you're like, screwed. If I haven't gotten up by now, I'm not going.
Right.
So it's one of those things where you just have to do it.
Yeah, you just have to do it. Yeah. You ever see that Shia LaBeouf meme where he just goes like, just do it?
Yes.
Like that's what I need to start thinking in my head. Shia LaBeouf screaming at me.
Just think of it. Like, picture it in the front of your head.
Yeah. Oh man, especially on like a nice winter day though, it's like so cold you just don't want to get out of your bed. It's definitely hard, but it really is. It's that self-discipline and dedication too, in a sense.
Yeah. And once you get into the routine of it, it does become easier. And also Mondays, never skip a Monday. If you skip a Monday, your whole week is thrown off.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think you could put that for anything too that you would usually do to start off the week for sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
So speaking of that, how's like your workout schedule work? Like, do you have like an off day? Like, it's definitely not Monday. I know that now. Not Monday. But do you have like a break day in a sense? And how many times do you like work out in a single day and a week, like altogether?
I write my own programs. I have a personalized program for myself.
Okay.
So my program is 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Sometimes it gets a little mixed up. I get upset when it gets mixed up because I like staying strict to my program. I am a little bit behind on it now. Not that proud of it, but it happens. That's just one of those things too. Like, you have to understand sometimes life just happens.
Yes.
It's okay. You just pick it back up, because if you sit and mope about it, well, then you're never going to get back to it.
Yeah.
So I do train 5 days a week. And then on Saturday, I take a yoga class, which is amazing. I love lifting weights. Lifting weights is my thing. I'm good at it. I have goals, and I know it's going to help me reach my goals. It's not my therapy. Yoga is my therapy.
Something I was going to ask you if like the whole working out thing was like your therapy in a sense, but yoga would definitely be it.
Yoga does it for me. And it's different for everybody. I know some people go and lift weights or they do different things and that's their therapy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something about me creating my own programs and it's instead yoga's somebody else telling me what to do. And it's also not a practice that, I mean, I'm obviously familiar with it because I do it, but it's not a practice that I'm certified in. So I'm learning new things and learning about my body and like really getting that communication going with myself. Yeah. Which I love.
I think it's always exciting to learn something new and something that you're not familiar with. How long have you been doing the yoga for?
Oh, it's very new. It's only been like the past couple months. I haven't gone, but I'm going this Saturday.
Awesome.
It's new, but it definitely picked me up a little bit. It gave me that little
for sure.
Yeah.
And that would be like the last thing you do in your workout week, basically, is the yoga?
Yes. Sundays, I definitely don't do anything. I just need a Sunday to chill.
Yes. Yeah. For sure. I think the yoga is a great way to end off the week, to be honest with you.
It is.
It's like, it's not too intense in a way. Like, don't get me wrong, yoga is a workout in itself.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, well, yoga or am I thinking of? No, I think I'm thinking about yoga. I was gonna say Pilates.
Oh no, you're definitely thinking about yoga. Pilates is tough.
Yeah, I was looking up, doing some research on it. It was like the difference between yoga and Pilates, and it was saying that what you were saying, like it more intense, like rougher workout in a sense. Have you ever tried that before, Pilates?
I did Pilates. I actually had to take it as a class, as like an elective class when I was in college.
Okay.
So I did do that for a little bit. Wasn't in love with it. It was challenging. It was good. Anybody that wants to try Pilates, I say go try it once. That's the other thing. We were talking about doing new things and learning new concepts. It very much humbles you.
Yes.
It brings you back down to earth a little bit.
For sure. And you know what? That could even sound a little bit cliche too. It's like, oh yes, yoga, in with the earth and everything like that. You know what I mean? But I think it's definitely facts, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's different types, too. So the one that I do, it's an empowered flow yoga. It's what we call it. Mm-hmm. And it is very empowering. And it's tough. She makes it more challenging than your typical, like, let's move through the movements. Yeah. But it's amazing.
Not just the movements and the positions that you have to put your body in, but it's also the breathing, too, which is, like, one of the biggest factors of yoga and even Pilates too and whatnot. To control your breathing is really something else, and that really brings you in with yourself and whatnot. And it's almost hard to explain in a sense what it does to your body once you actually have control of your breathing during workouts like that.
It's amazing what it can do. I don't know a lot about it. I know I have a couple friends who really study that kind of thing. It's incredible. The knowledge that they have about what breathing does to your body, it's really powerful. Yeah.
And it's important as well. Very important.
Yes, focus on your breathing. It's just, when you do it, sometimes at the end of the group classes, I'll have everyone lay down and just like take a couple breaths. Just close your eyes and breathe. And they're like, oh, sleepy, like as they come up. But it's great. It's a nice way to just jumpstart the recovery process.
Definitely. Are you into anything as far as like spirituality at all? Because yoga could associate with that sort of thing, like the chakras and the crystals and all that sort of stuff. Is that something that interests you, or has yoga like opened that up to you?
It's something that has always interested me.
Yeah.
I only know a little bit about it. I haven't done like a full dive into it. Yeah. But I am definitely very interested. I do believe in all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And we do touch on it in yoga, which is also why it becomes like a therapy when you're thinking about your chakras and things like that. I don't know much about crystals. I've been wanting to get into that. So it is interesting. I just don't know a lot. Yeah,
I was only asking because I'm somewhat interested in it as well. I think you know Steve Ortolano, Steve-O, from school.
I only knew because he said his nickname.
Because Steve-O, yes, yeah. He was big with it, and he really invited me into that world and whatnot of learning about all these stones and crystals and the breathing and meditation, yoga, everything in the book.
That's awesome.
And that's why I was asking you, because I'm extremely interested in it. I have a couple of stones myself and whatnot. I like to put them like by the window, let the sun charge them and everything like that.
Oh, they charge?
I didn't even charge know that. From the sun.
We need to get Steve-O in here and have a workshop.
100%. 100%.
I would be so down.
Yes. Oh yeah, He would be happy to tell anybody about all that sort of stuff. He wants to spread that love and anything of that nature with it. Yeah. But awesome. All right. So you do yoga to close off your workout week. Yes. And it seems like you almost treat it like a job in a sense, like a weekday job, right? And, like you were saying, you were kind of getting a little aggravated in a sense that you were a little off schedule and whatnot. That's how I feel about the podcast and whatnot. Okay. You know what I mean? Usually on Mondays I film a podcast. Okay. This week I was like, what am I going to do for this week's podcast? I started seeing you posting videos. I'm like, yes, absolutely. Let's get Lexie on. And, I usually film on Mondays. Today's obviously Thursday. Right. So I'm like, itching to get a podcast out. Like, I'm usually editing in the morning before I go to work. Like, what's happening right now? But I would say it's the same way. I treat it as a job as well in a sense like that. But the good thing is that if you enjoy it, it doesn't feel like a job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to enjoy what you do. Or if you don't, find a way to make it a little bit better. If it's something that you can't move on from, just find little pieces of it to enjoy.
Absolutely. I wasn't even looking at any of these. We kind of just been going
it's just
off
been
right
flowing.
here. Yeah. What
Love
else do
it.
I have here? Oh, would you? We were talking about how you don't use Zoom or anything like that, right? Is that something you'd ever be interested in doing, like later on?
I would consider it.
Yeah.
It would really just depend on my schedule and what I am available for. So that's the biggest thing, is just creating time for yourself, even when we're out here grinding, especially like in the coaches world, or not even just in the coaches world. I know coaches can relate and trainers can relate, because we're always bouncing from job to job and gym to gym here and there.
Yeah.
But anybody who's out there grinding, like,
yeah,
you get it. So you need to find that time for yourself. So I would consider it. If I had maybe a group, that would be something I'd probably consider a group class for. For sure. Or if I like went somewhere and my clients still wanted to work with me, the ones that I see in person, maybe I would do Zoom with them.
Yeah.
That's what I would consider it for.
Okay. I mean, that makes perfect sense anyway. I always found it a little, not that I've ever tried it, but I feel like it would be difficult to train someone via the internet and whatnot. Marquez was on here last week, and he was saying that his little sister, or who he calls his sister, little sister,
Yes.
takes like dancing classes online. And I was thinking to myself, like, how does that work necessarily?
It's challenging.
Yeah.
It's obviously better if you're in person, but as a trainer, you know the cues. If you have the experience already behind your belt, you know what they're probably doing wrong. A lot of it is about the angles. So if I'm with you in person, I might be standing right in front of you, and then I'm going to move over here to the side and get another angle of how this exercise is looking.
Right.
So I'll have you in the Zoom turn to the side and do things like that. It is a little bit more challenging, I will say for sure, especially when you either want to show them the exercise and you don't have the same equipment that they have, or there are definitely challenges that do come up with it. So you just do your best. And the other thing too is that as a coach, you give out cues. Sometimes they can be tactile. I'll say, put this water bottle on your back and make sure it doesn't fall off, or something like that. And you can't do that.
No.
When over online. So
Right.
you really have to get good at your verbal cues. You just got to get creative. That's the best thing, the best piece of advice I could give to anybody, like coaching, anybody online with whatever it is. Just get good at your verbal cues.
Yeah, definitely. For someone that doesn't do it that often, you do definitely seem like to have it down pat with that in a sense. I think you do a good job with the Zoom and everything like that.
Try.
Have you like inspired others to like really get into this fitness lifestyle in a sense just by doing your own thing and everything like that?
There's one person that comes to mind, and I don't know if she would like if I said her name or not, so I won't say anything.
You won't have, yeah.
But there is one person who has just straight up reached out to me and just tells me that like I've really helped her along the way, and she's getting better at her push-ups and things like that, and just really actually seeing improvements. I gave her a program a long time ago, and I kept up with her for a little while, and then we didn't really speak about the program for a couple months. I didn't know she was actually still doing it. And she posted like a before and after picture, like with a little caption up one day. And I was like, you're still doing this? Like, this is amazing. You did that with my program? I'm like, what? Like, you're awesome.
Yeah.
So, yes, I have.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
It must make you feel great too. It's like, wow, like, I help this person, like, be happy with what they're doing and everything like that and get fit,
It's so rewarding. It's such a rewarding job, because it's not just giving somebody the exercises. When you're working one-on-one with someone, especially if you're in person, you often see them more than they might see some of their distant cousins or their friends. So you see them through all of their ups and downs, and you kind of ride that wave with them.
Yeah.
So to be a part of that process and really see them shine through the light at the end of the tunnel is just like, feels so nice.
Yeah, definitely rewarding for sure.
Yeah.
I think you need to step into that person's world to like really help them out with their struggles and whatnot and what they need to overcome in a sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, would you say that's like important as a personal trainer?
I think you need that. You need interpersonal skills. If you don't have them, it's going to be hard to get by in this industry. You need to be able to communicate with people, and everyone has their own way of communication. Some people are a little more goofy, some are a little more sarcastic. You have to find what works for you, obviously.
Yeah.
But I know I wouldn't be the best fit of a trainer for everybody. I can give you the right tips and stuff, but we might not click, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So you have to have those skills.
Yeah.
You got to be able to connect.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know you said that motivation is kind of BS.
Yeah.
But well, first off, why do you say that? Why do you say motivation is BS in a sense?
What gets you out of bed in the morning? Oh, I really want to get faster? No. It's like you just drag yourself out of bed. You just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just self-discipline is actually what gets you through the door. Motivation might give you a little pick-me-up, but motivation dwindles down a lot of the time. It dwindles down with confidence. It dwindles down with self-esteem. And we're all human, so we all fluctuate with those kinds of emotions. And motivation rides those waves. Self-discipline is like, we're here and we're doing this, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
That's like your concrete floor right there that's going to
Yes.
keep everything intact and stable
Right.
in a sense. Now, is that something that you really try to enforce and teach your clients, self-discipline?
If it's something that they bring up, I'll bring it up. I don't really, it can sound a little aggressive.
Oh, definitely.
So I don't start with that. But if it's something that they mention, then I do tell them.
I think that's a smart way of going about it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, say you were training me, I would want to be here, and like I wouldn't want you to hold back at all, like I would want you to tell me your honest feelings on if I'm doing something right, if I'm being too lazy with something, that would work for me.
You need that. Yep.
That would work for me, and it would be like, all right, she's right, like I need to get off my ass and freaking do something about it. So yeah, definitely I could see that only working for certain people and whatnot, especially if they do bring it up. Then you would incorporate it more into that. Have you found that to be the case more than others, of them bringing it up?
I do find a lot of people bring it up at some point. It might be at different points, but especially as of recently, and I think you said it earlier, just like I can't find the motivation to get back at it, and it's just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just got to do it. If you're searching for the motivation, well, it's been a couple months. Time is just going by. So you just have, if it's something that you're actually committed to or something that you really want to do, you have to think about why you want to do it.
Yeah.
That's your motivation, is your why. Find your why and then keep running with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my why because you know what? I didn't really work out that much in college. I really started working out in a gym after college, after the fact, which is kind of weird because all of my brothers, all they loved to do was like work out and go to the gym. I just was never part of that like clique with them, You
didn't need to be. They were too much, but they were so funny. Like, respect and love, because I feel like some of them are gonna see this, but I can remember the gym selfies and all of them like beefed up. Yeah.
You gotta love them for it though. They are funny with it. But for some reason which I should have been, like. I think for me too, going with a group of people would definitely help me as well.
It does.
But for some reason I didn't. And then I think it was really when I started wanting to pick up like just weight in general. I wanted to start going to the gym because I found that working out, and even if you don't work out, like just being active, like going for a walk or whatever, it'll make you hungry.
Yes.
and you'll want to eat. And that's what I did. I did learn to love working out, picking up the weights and everything like that. And obviously, I loved it even more because I was eating more and everything like that.
I would have we do what we do.
Yeah, I would work out, come back home, eat my 5 eggs. If it was 5 scrambled eggs. I'd make them up, eat them like that. Or if it was lunchtime, I'd get a nice extra chicken bowl Chipotle. I don't know if that's necessarily the healthiest, but hell, it got my weight up. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And it started working great for me. So I think that's my why. Because, man, I haven't been to the gym in over a year because it's been over a year since this whole pandemic started. Right. Even thinking about that, it's like, I need to get my ass back in the gym. I need to go tomorrow.
Those are going off right
now. Yeah, for real. Literally. I will be going to the gym tomorrow. I will put it in stone right now.
I want proof.
If I have you on Snapchat, which I think I do.
I think we do.
Yeah, I will send you a snap of me at the gym tomorrow.
Can we do a follow-up before you post this? I need the proof before this goes out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're calling you out if you don't go.
If I will go tomorrow, I will take a picture. It'll be edited on the podcast as I'm speaking this now.
Love it.
Yes. That's self-discipline for you.
There you go. Right there.
What else do I got for you? So you did say that going to the, you work at a gym. What I was going to ask if going to the gym was going to be a thing of the past for you. Do you see that happening in the future?
No.
Or you'd always go to but why though? Is it because the access to the equipment and weights, or is it being surrounded in that environment that makes you keep going and to work harder? What is it for you?
I think it's the environment. Also, gym equipment is expensive, so if you know that you need a barbell, things like that, you not everybody can put a home gym in, so you can use what you got, but sometimes it's not the same as really lifting the plates and like dumbbells, things like that. I don't see gyms going anywhere. They're definitely not going anywhere for me. If anything, I see the fitness industry really gearing towards group fitness and personal training. Coaching is becoming more available to a lot of people. So if anything, maybe some commercial gyms may or may not dwindle down. That's my view of it. I think especially after the whole COVID thing, commercial gyms were just so wishy-washy, and it was the private gyms, which are popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
Those are the ones picking up. Those are the ones doing the group classes, and somebody's coming in and they're like, oh, my gym's closed, but you're doing an outdoor session and something like that. So I think the private, smaller gyms are really picking up.
Now, these private, smaller gyms aren't necessarily like a chain or anything like that, right? No, they're their own thing, and they could do what they want, basically.
Exactly.
And people have been going there while these other places were closed, or whatever the case it might have been.
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting. I don't think gyms are going really anywhere.
No.
Yeah, anywhere either. As much as they could have still been closed now, I don't think they would have necessarily been hurting, because I'm sure gyms offered online classes and whatnot during the pandemic.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Like, did yours do that or no?
Yes.
Okay.
They did. So there's a lot of different options. At first it was online, and then once things got a little bit more lenient, it was outdoor classes, and everybody was just spread apart, and we did less equipment because we didn't want to bring everything outside, something like that. So outdoor became a thing for a while.
Yeah, Club Metro is right by me.
Okay.
And when they opened back up, they brought like most of their equipment outside in the parking lot.
I saw some gyms did that, yes.
Yeah, and that's a freaking workout in its own right there,
For a fact, yeah.
Yeah.
It just bringing it outside.
Just bringing it out, and this was like in the summer where it was like 80 to 90 degree heat.
Yep.
And it's like, I mean, hey, if there was someone that really wanted to lose weight and whatnot, yeah, go ride on one of those bikes in the 90 degree heat.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that'll do it for you.
Bring
for sure.
some extra waters.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Stay hydrated, definitely very important,
But yeah, that was one way to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, they had to do what they had to do.
They had to do something.
Stay afloat. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think like gyms were like hurting necessarily, like you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I know everybody feels different about the pandemic. Some people are like, I just can't wait to get back. Some people really want to get back but are very precautious.
Yeah.
I know at the gym that I'm working at personally right now, we wear masks. Everybody wears a mask inside. So, I mean, it's getting warm out. Hopefully we'll be outside. I actually started working there when people had masks on. So there's some people, I still don't know what they look like.
That's crazy.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Like, I see them take their mask off to have some water, and I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, right.
So it is really crazy. So I'm excited for that. But everybody feels a little bit different. Some people, I think gyms are hurting because some people just are not ready to come back, or some people are just they canceled their membership, or they put it on hold and then they got lazy or whatever it is and just caught up with life.
Yeah.
And haven't gone back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. I think that, because a gym is a gym, like everyone touching the weights and everything like that, I think that's also a very big factor of why people don't want to go back. But I do know gyms are taking the right precautions and having cleaning sessions and whatnot, like a break in the middle of the day sort of deal. They'll have the gym closed so they could clean everything.
Which, by the way, should have been implemented from opening the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Pre-COVID and things like that. I know so many gyms we're upping our cleaning protocols, and it's like, why weren't you doing that before? You're a gym. Like, it's just and not to sound gross, but it's like a manifestation ground for germs sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Not to deter people. If you want to go back, I say go back. But, they are very clean now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I know we wipe down everything after using it before somebody else will touch it or whatever. But, yeah, that's something that should always just be implemented.
I think that was, using one of those wipes and whatnot before being on the bench and stuff like that. That was always like that. The unspoken rule that you should do that.
I like that you said unspoken.
Yeah. It was always the unspoken rule that you should always do that. I mean, I always did that, and unspoken rule.
Yeah.
That's really what I think it is. You are definitely right that they should have definitely had these cleaning hours or whatnot.
Yeah.
Straight from the beginning, which I think COVID. It sucks that it's happened, but it's made us more aware of cleanliness, you know?
Absolutely.
And just to make, people that weren't really washing their hands before, best believe they're washing their hands now, especially if they're definitely worried about this thing and equipment and everything like that, you know? So, and it was also funny that you brought up the masks, how you haven't seen people's faces before. I took off my mask at the school that I work at to take a drink of water. And one of the kids was like, Mr. Frank, you have a beard? I'm like, you do see the mustache under,
doesn't
right?
It, peek out a little bit?
Oh, the beard, the beard will definitely peek out of the mask. But it's like, oh, you have a mustache? I'm like, yeah, I have a mustache. Like, what? But then I started to realize, oh yeah, they really haven't seen
That's
my mouth and whatnot.
Yeah. I never realized how much we focus on people's eyes and forehead.
Yeah.
And then when somebody puts their mask down, you're like, oh, there you are. You're a totally different person.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Definitely. There should be a game show or something like that. Who is this person? That new show, The Masked Singer? It would kind of be like that, but you're not singing. But
people and real faces.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it would be kind of interesting. So when I was talking about I would eat my 5 eggs a day and everything like that, eating habits I think is the harder part than the actual workout. Yeah. I think maintaining a good eating schedule and just eating the right portion amounts to get that protein in and whatnot, depending and according to your body weight and everything like that. I'm kind of talking out of my ass a little bit right now. I think that's the way it should be. So what are your favorable eating habits after a workout? What's your ideal meal that you would eat?
So I train in the mornings. So I have a shake and a rice cake before I go in, just so I have something to burn off. Post workout, I eat my breakfast. So I have Ezekiel bread, some toast, well, that is the Ezekiel bread. And then I throw eggs on top of it. Sometimes I will have like avocado or cheese with it.
Okay.
Trying to be fancy a little bit if I have the ingredients.
Yeah.
And then shortly after, I like kind of let that sit for a little bit. And then shortly after, I'll have oatmeal.
Okay. All right. Nice. Yeah, I think it's very important to eat at least a little something beforehand, before the workout, no?
So there are people who like to work out fasted, and I actually did it for a long time, and it wasn't really on purpose. I started doing it a long time ago because I was like, oh, I want to shed some fat, and then it actually became... I don't know how to make this like long story short, but I stopped eating at 9 o'clock at night. So like 2 hours before I go to sleep. That way my body can rest and recover overnight. I used to always wake up with stomach pains. Ever since I did that, and I thought the stomach pains was like, hey, you're hungry, go eat.
Yeah.
So I thought once I stopped doing that, the stomach pains went away. So I would just go and coach classes and then go do my workout and not eat because I wasn't having that stomach pain.
Yeah.
But I was really not doing a service to my gains by doing that. So I have started to have something prior.
Gotcha. Now, when it comes to the shake, it's like a protein shake.
Yeah, I do an almond milk, but the almond milk that I use is cashew and almond milk, so it has 10 grams of protein itself, and then I do the protein powder.
Now, isn't it avocados that also have like a good amount of protein in it, or am I wrong?
Maybe a little bit, but avocado is more known for a healthy fat.
Yes,
it's like a better fat to eat.
Yes, definitely. So many people love avocado. I'm not that big of a fan.
Okay, I remember because I never really had avocados growing up. I never really ate guac like that. I actually didn't try avocados until like college. And then, it was a superfood. Everybody was talking about these superfoods, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the store, I got an avocado, I tried it. I wanted to like it so bad, and I did not. Didn't do it for me. And then I was so upset. I don't know why. I was just stupid. I was so upset about it. And then one day at Styles, actually, we had some kind of get together, and there was guacamole. I was like, let me give it a try. And I was like, ooh, this is good. And then I started liking avocados.
It's weird how like taste buds change like that and whatnot, you know?
Yeah. And I think I also just had like the straight avocado, and like there was nothing to it. There was no salt, lime.
Right.
All that good stuff.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I was eating like the 5 eggs, after my workout and whatnot. I think it helped me out when I started, going on the scale and whatnot and weighing myself. But scrambled nowadays for me just doesn't do it anymore. Like I like them like over easy or
like them.
Sunny side up even sometimes, and it's good to change it up in a sense. I think sometimes.
I think you need to. It also depends on what you're eating. Like I have like a sunny side up egg for my breakfast, but there's some days if I'm not having my typical breakfast, I can't eat them that way. Unless I have toast, I cannot eat them like that. Yeah, so scramble them up. There's some seasoning. Make it good.
Yes, definitely. What kind of seasoning would you use?
Oh, that's a good question. Depends on what I'm in the mood for. I usually try to sneak turmeric in. I only put a little bit because turmeric doesn't taste that good.
But it's extremely healthy for you.
But it's very healthy. It's good for your joints.
Yes.
You need to take care of your joints, people.
Yes.
So I sprinkle a little bit of that in. And sometimes I'll add like a little bit. So I have a very low tolerance for spicy stuff, but I'll throw like a little like cayenne pepper or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cayenne pepper's not too bad, but for someone that isn't big with the spicy food, I'm sure it could pack a punch in a sense. I love spicy food. I don't know how good that is for you necessarily. It might be a nice cleanser to get everything out of your stomach.
Honestly, it is. Like when you're sick, like I've read some things, it's like, or when you're like sniffly and congested, like have a little bit of spice and it just helps loosen everything up.
Absolutely. Like, you know what Takis are?
Yes,
Takis. I'd eat Takis sometimes, which, I see my students eating them and it's like, all right, picking up a bag after work. But eating those, my nose would start running and everything like that. It's with a lot of spicy foods and whatnot. I'm actually, have you ever heard of the 1 chip challenge?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like the
I
one.
saw your picture.
Yes, the one ghost pepper chip. I'm doing a podcast, not next week, but the week after.
Okay.
I'm going against my friend in a trivia game. The
Okay.
loser has to eat the chip
Gotcha.
with no water, no milk, nothing.
That's brutal.
They got to go through the pain for however long it takes.
Oh, no.
20 minutes or whatnot. We're making it a risky trivia
That's
game,
a
you
really
know?
risky deal. Are you prepared?
Oh, I'm prepared. I want to lose. I want it. I want to eat
want
that
the
chip.
chip.
I want the chip. We both bought a chip.
Okay.
So like we both came to the consensus we both want to try it.
Okay.
But one of them will be for the podcast on cameras, getting tortured, and the other will be like on their own time,
Gotcha.
Sort of deal. And maybe on the one that's doing it on their own time, we'll have milk or something, or something with them.
Maybe you'll get a little extra benefit.
Yeah, right, exactly. So like, what would you do for lunch and dinner? I'll let you answer that first, and then I'll ask you the other question I wanted to ask
Me
you.
personally, what I eat, well, I meal prep.
Okay.
So, and my thing is, I don't weigh my food. I don't meal prep in that kind of sense. I just meal prep because if I don't, then I won't eat, or I'll spend a ton of money on buying food. So, I do that. What I eat right now, I had some sweet potatoes in there, some veggies and chickpeas, and it's a lot of vegetables. I am a pescatarian.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. So, and I only eat fish like once in a while.
Yeah.
So, and it's usually on a weekend when I'm out. I don't actually like cook it.
Okay.
I don't know how to. So, I stay away from that. So, I eat some tofu, chickpeas, sweet potatoes, lots of veggies. I get my kale and things like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about vegan or vegetarian at all?
I eat mostly vegetarian, and honestly, my meal preps end up being vegan. Mm-hmm. Not on purpose.
Yeah.
They kind of just happen that way.
Right.
I have not actually thought about going full vegan because like eggs, I eat them every day.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if it's good for you or whatever. I eat eggs every day, and it's like something that I'm not really ready to give up. Like eggs and cheese, I don't really eat dairy, but I don't want to restrict it.
Yeah,
You know, sometimes it's a really good way to like add flavor sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have thought about it. It would be great if I could be disciplined enough one day to reach that point, but I don't know if I will get there.
I think that would be very hard for me to do.
Yeah.
Besides the eggs, chicken I eat all the time.
That was like the
All the
only thing I
time.
ate before I went pescatarian. I eat chicken a lot.
Yeah.
With like every meal.
It's crazy with chicken because literally you could do anything with it in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
You could put whatever sauces, spices, anything on it. You could cook it a whole bunch of different ways. It's kind of crazy. And what's also funny is that you have all these other exotic foods. They taste like, that saying like in The Lion King, like, oh, it tastes like chicken.
Yes.
Like, I feel like it's just so like universal in a sense, So besides the eggs, I'm not a big fan of milk. I don't drink milk a lot. The only time I'll have milk is if I am pouring it in to make scrambled eggs.
Okay.
Or for my cereal in the
Yeah.
morning, But otherwise, not big with that. But yeah, chicken and eggs definitely would be the two hardest things to get rid of. But I think also, you see, it would be interesting to have someone on here who is getting through that process right now. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's like steps.
To what? Being vegan?
Yeah, instead of like going completely cold turkey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you definitely have to layer it in. So I would totally say try being a pescatarian. So you eliminate eliminate red meats. And then you eliminate the chicken, and then you eat some fish. And then you eliminate the fish, but you still eat your eggs and your dairy, and then you eliminate those things.
Yeah, that seems like a good way to go about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love fish. I do love fish. Salmon, I love to eat. And even like shellfish too, like I really like as well.
I only started eating fish about probably like 2 years ago or something like that. It is very new to me, which is why I'm pescatarian. I didn't go the full vegetarian route. I was like, I just started eating this stuff. I kind of like it. I don't want to give it up yet.
What have you like tried in like the fish world?
What have I tried? Scallops, salmon, tuna, shrimp. I've tried lobster. I wasn't a huge fan.
I'm not that big of a fan of lobster either.
Crab is okay. Those are like the mains.
Yeah, crab I really like. Baked clams I'm insane for.
It took me a little while to get used to the texture of them.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I feel like you wouldn't like oysters. Have you tried those before?
I think so. Oysters and clam, what's the difference?
All right, oysters are like those longer shelled things. You usually have them cold. It has like that white.
Cold.
You wouldn't?
I didn't have them cold.
Oh, you didn't have. So it was probably baked clams, and
yeah.
It has like the breadcrumbs on top of them.
Breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
You're eating some fancy clams.
Oh my God, they're excellent. They are excellent. They are so good.
That's great.
All right, so the eating habits. Top 3 things you should stay away from to start eating healthy. What would be your top 3? Maybe that you've eliminated yourself or that you would suggest to others?
I would say junk food, obviously. Sweets, like candies.
Yeah.
Obviously. I feel like those are just like 2 that like really jump out at you. And soda. Get rid of the soda.
Yeah, definitely.
Now it's hard because I don't really like give out nutritional advice. I could give out like basic stuff, but I'm not certified in that. So to my clients, I don't tell them what to eat or what not to eat. So I do that, but those are the big things. So when it comes to soda, I actually used to drink soda a lot when I was younger. And then when I stopped, I gave it up for like Lent or something one time. And then I had it again, and my stomach hurt, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I drink soda once in a while, but not really.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not big with soda that much anymore either. When I was a kid, I would be like, "Oh, that's soda." Like, let me see that, you know?
Jitters.
Yeah, the jitters and everything like that. But I'll have like a Dr. Pepper, like here and there once in a while. But it's definitely not how I used to drink soda.
Yeah.
You know. As far as sweets, I'm not that big with candy that much anymore. Okay. You know when you like get older and like something's like too sweet nowadays and it's like, oh my God, I'm getting old. You know what I mean? That's been happening to me with a couple of things. But junk food is something like chips. I'm assuming that's what you meant by that. Chips and I don't know. Cookies and stuff of that nature.
But also like the processed kind. Because don't get me wrong, like I like my sweets and my junk food. I still eat chips, but I go to Trader Joe's and I get like the lentil chips or the black bean and quinoa chips, things like that. They still have flavor and they have a lot of sodium, but they're definitely less in sugars. So all of the things that I actually mentioned have so much sugars in them and so much sodium. If you can cut back on the sugars that are processed, because you do, like fruits are healthier sugars, but cut back on processed sugar and cut down on the sodium levels, you could still enjoy the same stuff, but just have better versions of it.
Are you a frequent shopper at Trader Joe's?
A very frequent shopper at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, Trader Joe's just opened up here in Freehold, or like on the border of Freehold Manalapan sort of deal. I still need to go into that new store, but Steve-O brought me into his Trader Joe's in his town, and just looking around at everything, I was like, wow, like all this is good for you. You know what I mean? Like.
Yes and no. Don't get tricked. Do not get fooled. Anybody who shops at a Whole Foods, a Trader Joe's, a Wegmans, they still have things that are not that great for you. They're just maybe better versions of it.
Sure.
But definitely look at the labels.
Yeah.
I always look at the labels on some things. And I'll sit there and I'll compare them. I'm kind of that annoying person in the store. But
well, you need to do your research, though. Exactly. You need to know what you're putting in your body and everything like that.
Right.
Yeah. Trader Joe's is a place I want to visit more frequently because I do know that they supply good stuff as well. Like
a lot of Whole Foods. They have like a lot of organic options, too. I love it there.
Yeah. All right, so those were top 3 things that you should stay away from.
Yes.
How about 3 things that you should bring more into your life, sort of deal?
Bring more vegetables.
I love vegetables.
Bring more leafy green vegetables. Those are important, just as sources of fibers and irons, things like that. Another good thing, healthy fats. So we get a lot of different kinds of fats, but bring in some healthy fats. You bring in some of the avocados, of the cottage cheese or something like that. There are definitely ways to get around that and have healthier of those things.
It's like cheating in a good way.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, you put it like that and it's like, ooh, yeah, I'm going to try
tempting,
that out.
Right?
It does sound tempting.
It's not, you don't have to restrict yourselves because that's where people fall off. Everyone wants to restrict themselves and they're like, oh, I can't have any sugar and I can't do this and that. And it's just like, find another version. Make a homemade version or something like that. There's ways around it.
Right. Now, for your clients and whatnot, have they asked you to give them any nutritional advice? Obviously warning them that you weren't licensed and whatnot, but would you still give them some advice?
I would give them basic advice, like something about make sure I'll tell them to look up their own macros. I'll tell them to use a calculator and look it up. And then if I don't really advise people to count calories, I think it can kind of turn into like a sick, twisted thing when you start really living by it. So I don't encourage it. I don't want to steer anybody down that direction.
Like too fixated on it in a sense? Like a little too obsessed kind of deal?
So I have seen people on both ends of the spectrum. Some people are like, whatever. And some people are like, gotta meet my macros and so strict about it. You don't need to be so hard on yourself, but you need to be disciplined with yourself. So there's that fine line. You have to walk in the middle.
For sure. Is that an Apple Watch that you're wearing right now?
No, it's a Garmin watch.
A Garmin watch?
Yes.
What is that exactly? Is it like similar to that? Or
It's a smartwatch.
It is a smartwatch.
So yeah, I love it.
Do you use that for? Oh wait, Garmin, isn't that what does like the GPSs and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of people who are runners. I'm not a runner. It's not my thing. Not good at it. I jogged the other day and I got shin splints. The first time I jogged in like a year. So not my thing, but I do love it. It's been awesome.
Have you been using that to work out? Like, does it record like your heartbeat and stuff like that and whatnot?
It does all the same stuff.
It does all the same stuff.
It does pretty much all the same things and sometimes more. So yeah. Has
that like put any difference in your workout or anything like that?
Not necessarily my workout. I just like kind of see. It's also, smartwatches aren't the most accurate things ever. So you can't really solely rely on them. But I don't do it anymore. I find it uncomfortable now, but I used to sleep with it and it would track your sleep. That is what I like really got fixated on and it helped me with my sleep.
So it tracks your sleep. So like, how does it know when you're sleeping?
So I think it goes by like your heart rate.
Okay.
And so like when you're in a deeper sleep, like, and it'll also read your pulse ox, like your oxygen levels. Okay. And it got really detailed. It'll tell you when you're in different cycles of sleep.
Huh.
Yeah. And I really like that because your sleep is so underrated. You need it. You need it to recover mentally and physically.
Yes.
Whether you train in a gym or your job is just exhausting. Doesn't matter. So yes, I paid a lot of attention to that.
I think sleep is extremely important as well. I was never really like a late night person. Like I wasn't like an owl in a sense, you know what I mean? Like nowadays, like I find myself in bed at like 10 o'clock. I'll pass out by 11 or 12, you know, watching a movie or something like that. Which I mean, I guess could still be considered a little late. But at the same time, like, I still want to make sure I'm getting a good amount of sleep so I'm, like, up and ready to go in the morning.
Of course.
You know? And, yeah, I think it's definitely important. Have you ever had, like, problems with your sleeping schedule until you got, like, that watch that helped you out?
I don't know if it was, like, the schedule. Like, the watch definitely aided. But I did have problems with my sleeping schedule years ago. And either not getting enough sleep or even quality sleep. So I would kind of keep up with what it was reading basically. And then it would just force me to put my phone down earlier at night.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like, no, I want to get a better sleep. Like I want to see better numbers tomorrow or something like that. I'm like, I'm just going to put the phone down. So it was a healthier fixated thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's way too many distractions nowadays to like keep yourself up at night and whatnot, especially the phone, especially TikTok. Don't even get me started. I'll be on there for hours.
Why I can't go on it.
I'll be on there for hours with that. But yeah, sleep, very important. And I'll wake up, like, going to bed around that time. I'll wake up around, like, 7 in the morning every morning now.
Yeah.
And I love waking up early. You get to just get more accomplished in your day. You know, you get to do more throughout your day, and you could get through with stuff throughout your day earlier on rather than later.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I said, like in the morning I would edit my podcast before I go to work.
Yep.
I'll have my podcast done in the morning. I go to work. Then I have time to hang out with friends or go to the gym and whatnot after work, you know? I think waking up early, being an early bird is a great thing.
I love being an early bird. I've always been an early bird. Like, I was that friend at sleepovers who was always waking up before everyone, and I'm like, is mom cooking in the kitchen some pancakes yet? Like, that was me. It's great though. I really enjoy it when I wake up late, which is very rare, but I mean, I don't sleep past 6:30, 7:30. And then if I wake up at like 9, I'm like, oh, wow, like I must have like been really tired. Or if I wake up later than that, I'm like, man, I missed my whole day already.
That's how it feels though. Sometimes. Yeah. Especially like at around 11 o'clock sort of deal. You're almost already at the afternoon at that point.
Exactly.
You know, you definitely do feel like you wasted most of your day, if not all of it, right? It's crazy. I used to be a person that would wake up around, especially like on the weekends at high school, like 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's wild.
My parents would be pissed at me. My parents would be pissed at me for that. But I understand why now, you know? Like, I feel the same way now, where get your shit done earlier, the better, you know, sort of deal.
Yep.
So, yeah, we talked about the foods, sleep, and we talked about a whole bunch of stuff that weren't even on.
We covered tons of topics today.
We definitely did, and I'm glad we did. One of the last main questions I would like to ask you is, what would you say to people that are just getting started in the fitness world as far as advice or tips, self-discipline, anything of that nature?
For somebody who's just getting started, don't be so intimidated. I know it might look scary or be intimidating, especially if you have goals or maybe your self-esteem and your confidence isn't up to that level. It's okay, because as a coach and as a trainer, we know and acknowledge that we all start somewhere.
Yes.
No matter who you are, like, you just have to take that first step, and you yourself will feel so much better when you do, and you realize that it's not that big and scary. It's, you know, picking up weights and things like that. It's not that terrifying once you start getting used to it. I would also say seek professional advice. You know, if you don't know what to do and you don't necessarily have a coach, make sure that you're getting information from reputable sources.
Yes.
So that's huge for me. I preach that all of the time. Also, know why you're doing what you're doing. Not necessarily exercises, but know, like when I told you before, know your why. Really, like, dig deep. And sometimes you have to go deeper than is comfortable. But if you know your why, you're going to stick to it.
Yeah.
It's more of an incentive to stick to it, because if you don't, it's easier to just be like, oh, I'll go again next week, or you just kind of blow it off.
Yeah.
So if you want to start and you don't really know where, find reputable sources and just take that big step over the hurdle of that intimidation factor and go for it.
Well said.
You can only go up.
You can only go up. That absolutely. Especially when you're trying.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying. One last thing I wanted to mention that you've actually said earlier in the podcast was the whole lifestyle aspect.
Yes.
Would you say self-discipline, although not necessarily preaching it as much until they ask for it,
right,
would you say that's like the overall lifestyle that you try to preach?
No.
No?
I think that comes with it. I think that comes with the lifestyle, but that's not the life. I think the lifestyle is more just overall living healthy, physically and mentally. Get better habits. Kick the bad ones, and don't just kick the bad ones, replace them with better ones.
Yes.
Because that's a better way of getting rid of them. Because if you just try to bring it over, it's gone, and then you want it back.
Yeah.
You know, but if you replace it with something better, then you're not so tempted to go back to that bad habit.
For sure.
So my thing, living a healthy lifestyle is just living healthy physically, mentally. It does not mean you have to be the most positive person. It just means you have to give yourself a chance. And you also have to give yourself a break. A lot of people are super hard on themselves nowadays, and it's weird. So it's hard to talk about this because so many people are so hard on themselves, and you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. So I want people, like, feel your emotions, like, go through it. And then also, don't always excuse yourself. So there's two opposite ends of the spectrum. There's people who are so hard on themselves, and then people who make so many excuses. And I feel like I see the extremes of both. So cut the excuses and give yourself some slack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well said.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. I like that a lot. It's very inspirational for sure. Definitely inspirational. To close it up, I got some speed round questions for you. 5 speed round questions for the viewers that have seen these before. 5 seconds or less to answer them. Don't worry, they're not too hard.
Okay.
But here we go. All right. Favorite workout? Favorite workout. Like
strength.
Okay, strength. Let's get even more specific with it. Favorite machine to work out on?
Oh, not machine, but I love hip thrusts.
Okay. All right, gotcha. Favorite gym?
Favorite gym? Like a name of a gym?
Name of a gym. You could be biased. You could say you're a gym.
No, I don't actually have a physical place.
Oh, okay.
So, favorite gym, Critical Mass. This is a gym that I work at right now, and they have a great culture.
Gotcha. That's the gym that I was talking.
Yeah.
All right. Free weights, machines, or resistance bands. If you had to choose one of them, what would it be?
Free weights.
Okay. Summer or winter?
Summer. 100%. 110%.
I'm like half and half with summer and winter because I love snowboarding in the winter.
Okay.
But in the summer, it's like just that good vibe energy and that nice warm weather. You can't beat it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a summer baby. I'm made for tropical weather.
There you go. You go. And the last one, I've actually was talking about this on my Instagram story last night.
I don't think I saw it.
Jeans or sweatpants?
Ooh. Joggers? Can I say joggers?
Absolutely, you can say joggers. Okay, because
they're like kind of sweatpants, but they kind of like fit nicely.
Yes, definitely. I will accept that answer. I was saying on my Instagram story that I wore jeans for the first time to work yesterday, and I had a terrible experience wearing them. And I don't know if it was because they were more on like the skinny jeans side or not. You know, they were just too uncomfortable walking around in them. I'm like, oh, I never want to do that again. But like,
no, I get it. Yeah. I live in leggings, so that's why I was like tempted to say jeans because it's like leggings are comfortable, but like, you feel good when you wear jeans. Like, I don't get to go out and dress up often, so it feels nice.
Oh, no, absolutely, yes.
Joggers all the way. You can't go wrong. You can, like, dress it up, dress it down.
Oh, definitely. And the great thing about joggers, too, and, like, even sweatpants nowadays, like you said, like, they're more, like, fit to your body and stuff like that. And, like, they've been getting a lot more fashionable nowadays as well, you know? It's kind of awesome.
It's really awesome.
It's really cool.
High-key great. Okay?
High-key great. Like I said, I love the shirt. I'm sure you're working out in that shirt from time to time too.
I usually wear it to work, but
word. But the whole scene, like, not scene, but the whole fitwear of when you're working out has just become so much more popular and has increased. Like, even for people I feel like that don't work out that much, still buy this sort of clothing just to be a part of the trend or whatever. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Athleisure is a new thing.
Athleisure?
Apparently. Yeah, have you not heard this term?
No.
Oh, so yeah, it's called athleisure. That's why everybody's on it. And I'm like, man, when I was in high school, like, athleisure wasn't a thing, and I was always wearing my athlete stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's interesting how things change.
It is.
And what becomes popular and whatnot.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for being on the pod tonight, Lexie. I had a great conversation with you.
This was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Would love to have you on again for whatever topic you'd want to talk about. You just let me know and we could set something up.
Love
and before we leave, anything you want to plug to the audience as far as maybe Instagram or anything of that nature?
Yes, if you want to follow my Instagram, I am starting to be more consistent. So it's Flex with Lex, Flex FLX _ with Lex. And if you want to check out my website, it's flexwithlex.com. If you want to email me, it's Lexie, Lexie, put an E at the end of it, at flexwithlex.com.
I checked out your website yesterday. It came out pretty damn nice.
It's pretty cool, right?
It's official as hell.
Thanks.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I forgot to mention that before too. I had to do my research too before the podcast, you know? All right, once again, thank you for coming on. Appreciate everything that you're doing as far as creating content on Instagram for your workouts and everything like that. You can only appreciate what people strive to do and whatnot. So yeah, with that being said, if you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and also follow us on Instagram at Podcast with Frank. I'll be putting clips of this podcast along with other projects that I work on there for you to check out. And with all that being said, have a good night and peace out. I want to touch on the thing with like masks in a sense.
Yes, but basically everybody has a mask. You know, it's whom we choose others to see ourselves as.
Yeah.
The cool thing is that, you know, who I present myself as and who I've presented myself as in my whole life is my mask. It is who you see, who I allow you to see, and what I allow you to see. And that goes with social media. Social media
Definitely
is
does.
your mask.
Yeah.
This thing is your mask.
Absolutely. I think it's good to have a mask. I think it's a bad thing to have a mask because people don't remember or realize that you are human inside and you have your own problems.
We tend to put this mask on it, and it is great to have it. It is. But there's a time and place.
Yeah.
And the one thing, again, this stems back to mental health, is being able to allow people to see what's under the mask. And that's when we now kind of dive into, like, I'm talking about dating relationships. I'm talking about relationships with family.